Welcome back to the flat renovations, where me and my girlfriend have just bought our first ever home together. And so far, let's just say it's been a lot more of a project than either of us had anticipated.
Oh no, that is gross.
Our bedroom had some issues with damp and moisture, which meant we had to rip it all out. Our kitchen had some severely blocked pipes, which could have flooded the entire flat.
That's your overflow pipe.
And now, to make matters even worse, our entire bathroom floor is completely falling apart. Oh my God, look how bad this is. The floor is rotting because we found a leak on day one of owning the property. I found the leak. It is really frustrating that we've kind of moved into this property and we've been left with a bathroom and kind of the foundations of the building in this state. Previously, I'd started to rip out the entire bathroom to see how much damage the leak had caused.
Oh, that is utterly disgusting.
Right, you need to disconnect the poo pipe. And so far, I've had to strip everything out. But today, I have to continue that to take the whole room back to square one. If I was to step through there or there, I would go straight through into the neighbour's ceiling. And I'm also going to address the situation of who is responsible and liable for this leak. I've just got to say this because it's what my brain is thinking right now. You know, did we get bloody scammed buying this flat is what is going through my head. So today's mission, or this afternoon's mission, should I say, is to rip out the rest of the bathroom floor and even also cut out some of the plasterboard on the back wall and the side. The big issue that I think there is now is that because this leak has been going on for so long, you've actually got the foundations and the joists of the building that are holding up the ceiling below and also holding up our floorboards. And if the joists are damaged, like this one here is completely damaged, it is completely rotted away. This bit here is the floorboard, which just crumbles in your hand, and then this, I'm sure, is a joist. And if they're structurally damaged, we've got some serious problems on our hands. So even the bottom of this plasterboard here, that all needs to come out. Look at it, it is just awful. There is a joist there, or a stud work, which this plasterboard is screwed into. This bathroom has gone from one extreme to another, but I'm learning a million things along the way, seeking the advice when I feel like I need it. And advice when you're doing something you've never done before is so important, but so is your mental well-being. So I think a lot of you guys who have watched the channel for a number of years will know that I have suffered quite a lot with my own mental health, whether it's feelings of self-doubt, feelings of depression, or the big one for me, which I always struggle with, is feelings of trying to find purpose and direction in life. These are all things that I've dealt with in the past, and even to this very day, I am still battling and dealing with them now. About 5 years ago, I tried therapy for the very first time, and over those 5 years up to now, I have been doing therapy on and off at different stages in my life when I felt like I needed to talk to someone. That's why I'm so happy to say that today's paid partner is BetterHelp. BetterHelp is an online platform that connects you with a credentialed therapist who's trained to listen and give you unbiased advice, which is why it's actually nice to talk to somebody completely external from your friends or your family. That person who isn't already involved in your life has no judgment whatsoever. You don't actually need to even be depressed, to feel anxious, or just to be in a sorry, sad state to actually try therapy. It's just that therapy can be a safe space where you can share exactly what's going on up here. Imagine therapy being like going to the gym, but for your brain. It can be, and for me it absolutely is, the best way to just unload everything that goes on inside your head. Starting therapy with BetterHelp is really, really simple. Fill out the questionnaire and then you can match with a therapy in just a couple of days. I'd be absolutely lying if I said to you that you will find the right therapist for you straight away, because that often is not the case. Sometimes it takes a little bit of time to find somebody that you connect with, somebody that you feel you can open up with and share these thoughts and feelings with. But that's probably one of BetterHelp's best features. If you don't quite click or gel with the first therapist that you're matched with, you can change and swap out to a different therapist to find somebody that you actually really connect with. BetterHelp makes sure that all of the therapists on the platform are well qualified, and their customer support team is there to help you if you have any concerns. With over 7,000 reviews and a 4.5 rating on Trustpilot, BetterHelp is a platform that you can trust. And if you are struggling like I do from time to time and you want to try out therapy and actually give it a try, then you can click the link in the top of the video's description or go to betterhelp.com/wheelswhereabouts and you can get 10% off your first month of therapy. So what happens here is, on the other side of this wall is our bedroom. This piece of floorboard goes all the way underneath into our bedroom, which is why I have to get the multi-tool and cut it, because I wouldn't be able to just pull or slide out this this piece of flooring. I'm just going to kind of take it step by step and then see what happens. But yeah, look at the state of this. This is going to come up very easily, I think. So the first step to continue the bathroom demolition was to cut away all of this entire subfloor. Okay, we've hit a joist, which is good. Doesn't look too bad either there, because I am very conscious that we don't want the joists to be looking like that one, which looks like it's been half eaten by a rat. So I started to cut out this rotten floor kind of one piece at a time, taking things as slowly as I could, because I wasn't sure if there were pipes or cables underneath. Yeah, that insulation is damp as well. I can't believe this. The more of this rotten floor I took apart, the more frustrated I actually got. Because let me remind you that we found this leak on day one of owning the property. Which means that this leak had clearly been going on for the last few years since the previous owner and the tenant was actually living in the flat. And when we bought this property, we had absolutely no idea about this problem. Ow! Sharp screws. Still no pipes. That's good. This is what the floorboards are looking like. So no wires or cables in there, which is good. But then, just in here, we've got that cable there. So this is the floorboard I'm pointing at now that goes in between the wall and then carries on to our bedroom. I would imagine that is why our bedroom is also leaking. Yeah, there's a bit of water under there. A bit of moisture.
I wonder if that's coming through from the bathroom.
Yeah, maybe. So taking up this entire bathroom floor was a lot of time and effort, and honestly, it was not easy at all. My multi-tool blades would go pretty blunt quite quickly, as trying to cut through this chipboard floor is actually quite difficult. And also the fact that once I'd actually cut the edges of the floor, these floorboards were well and truly screwed down in multiple different positions. Nothing a bit of persistence can't get out. So I'm now going to very likely assume that all of the leak that we had in here was actually coming from the bathtub seal. The reason I'm saying that is because all of these joists down here, you can see are nice and dry, no problem. Even the insulation as well is nice and dry. Here we had the sink originally, which did have a bit of a leak, I think, because there was water damage on the subfloor. But obviously, as you go further down into the bathroom floor, you can actually just see how much darker the joists are, and also the actual insulation. So water has obviously been coming in for ages, especially on that one there, which is where the toilet was. So my game plan now, I think, is to actually remove this back wall. Reason I need to do that before anybody says, Will, why? All of this plasterboard is damaged, completely damaged. So I've been advised by a plumber to cut all the way up to here and just take it all out. And I'm also thinking, to be honest with you, remove the bottom half of this wall as well. Those two pipes there is where the radiator was, but this little damp water patch on the wall here is where we're having the leak on the other side, where we're getting damp through onto our bedroom carpet. So I want to cut all of that out as well. So before we do that, I think it's time that we take a look to find out who is responsible and liable for all of this damage that this leak has caused us. When you buy property here in the UK, it is strongly advised that before you exchange the contracts, that you get yourself a home survey and valuation report done by a professional company. These surveys done by qualified surveyors are essentially a property health check, which are detailed inspections that check a property's condition and structure, and also ensures that the property is worth the price that you're offering. So of course, we took this advice and paid for a property survey and valuation on our new home. However, There are 3 different types of home surveys. Level 1 provides a brief assessment of the property's condition to give you an overview of its current state. Level 2 provides a visual inspection of areas that are reasonably accessible. The survey looks for serious problems that are readily evident but does not go into detail on the structural integrity of the property. And Level 3, which is a full building survey which will provide a comprehensive assessment of the structure and condition of the property. Now, with this being our first time buying property and a completely new experience to us, which by the way is very stressful and not smooth or easy whatsoever, don't even get me started on solicitors, we opted to pay for a level 2 survey, which in hindsight may have been our biggest mistake and why this leak was never picked up by the surveyor. Because a level 2 survey says the structural integrity of the property is not examined in detail, nor are the defects that are down to wear and tear. Apparently, if the leak was coming from the bathtub seal, that is only classed as general wear and tear. Which after day 1 of the renovation, it was pretty obvious to us that this leak was being caused from the sealant around the bathtub, as the previous owner and tenant had clearly failed to maintain it. You can see why it was leaking, because all of this is just completely loose. There's gaps under there. Which means that you cannot make a claim through buildings insurance or through our level 2 home survey, which we just paid for. And don't get me wrong, the general wear and tear of the bathtub seal leaking is no fault of our own at all. It's just very, very unfortunate that we've now been stuck with this problem that the previous tenant that was living here, they've caused. If I hadn't taken up the bathroom like I have done, then I would have never have known the state of this floor. And if we had just left the bathroom exactly how it was, this would have just got 100 times worse. And how the person living below us hasn't had a leak or some sort of issue with their ceiling, I have absolutely no idea. This leak, in my opinion, must have been going on for years, because look at the size of it. And now the fact that we have to deal with that when we've just paid 265 grand for this flat. It wasn't mentioned in the survey. However, the survey doesn't cover absolutely everything. A survey, depending on the type of survey that you pay for, isn't going to be an extensive search where they start pulling out bath panels and they find things like leaks. So it's kind of just one of them things that it is what it is. We've got to deal with it. So now, knowing that we have no claim whatsoever when it comes to the cost and the damage that this leak has caused, there was only one thing left to do, and that was to rebuild this bathroom myself. But before that, I had to continue the demolition, which started to uncover some Cowboy building work. There's just random bits of batten in the wall. Not even doing anything. Honestly, like the level of craftsmanship that has clearly gone into building probably this entire building is just shocking. I'd rather do it all myself. Not that I know how to, but hopefully one day I will. Because then at least you know it's done properly. So I continued on cutting out this back piece of plasterboard, because as you could see from the bottom of it, it was all completely damaged and rotting away. I mean, what is that doing in there? What is that even doing? And that one, I haven't got a clue. I've done it. Okay, so this is the current state that we're at now. All of the insulation I've just removed, because to be honest with you, I wanted to see exactly where the pipes go. And it's quite interesting because, well, the waste pipe I didn't realise would be coming from the external wall. And that is something we may actually want to move over here. We've had no choice but, to be honest with you, to strip the entire bathroom out. It now gives us the opportunity to basically create the bathroom in whatever way that we want. Originally, this is how it looked. Basin and vanity unit here. We then had the toilet in that corner over there, and then we had the bathtub here with a shower point there. But now what we're thinking is vanity unit can stay where it is, toilet in the middle of the room somewhere there, and then instead of having the shower this way, we can have the shower going that way. So potentially we could move that pipe over there, move the waste pipe over here, and have the shower going the width of the room instead of the length of the room. I'm also going to chop out this side of plasterboard here because there is a damp patch there, and like I said, we're getting that damp coming through into the bedroom, and I want to see exactly what is going on. When I also take this out, that means we could even move the radiator pipes further along, because the problem was that when the door was on here originally, you couldn't open the door fully because a radiator was on here. So if we moved these two pipes over that way, we'd be able to do that, and we'd have much more space in here. I'm no builder or construction manager, but why are these joists so wonky? I mean, it feels sturdy-ish, and there's massive gaps in the wood. I don't know what that piece of wood is doing there. I mean, it's barely even nailed in. We've got a piece of timber holding up this support frame. This all, look at that, just cracked wood, nails in everywhere. It just looks like an absolute bodge job. So the good thing that I've realised is that this piece of wood here, which I originally thought was a piece of joist, it's not. So that is a good thing, but it is the piece of stud work that holds up the whole back wall, I think. And as you can see, it's completely rotted. So that is the floorboard, which was rotting, and that is the piece of stud work timber, which is just completely gone. Look at it, just crumbles on the hands there. So that 1000% needs to be replaced. So I genuinely was really shocked just to see how poorly all of this bathroom was made. And like I said, I'm no expert whatsoever. I have never done a project like this, like trying to rebuild the entire bathroom myself. But I'm pretty sure me, with zero building experience, could do a much, much better job than the people who had initially built this bathroom. There's no going back now, Will, anyway. So we might as well just go full send and rebuild the entire bathroom. All because of a leak that wasn't ours. Honestly, you pay a substantial amount of money for a house or a flat, and you certainly don't expect it to be like this. But sometimes that's just the way life is. You just got to get on with it. I've just got to say this because it's what my brain is thinking right now. I don't know if this happens in the house purchasing process, but you know, did we get bloody scammed buying this flat is what is going through my head. Not scammed, but yeah, it's hard not to feel sorry for yourself. I'm not too fussed about it, if you like, because I am enjoying giving all of this a go, but yeah, it's our first home. We thought we would just be able to kind of do a bit of redecorating and move in, but that clearly isn't and hasn't been the case. I absolutely love this flat, to be honest with you, and I know when it's done, it's gonna be amazing. This has just been a lot more of a pain in the arse than I would have expected. So let me know in the comments, do you think that we have been had off, if you like, from the people selling the property or the estate agents? In my opinion, I'm thinking, how the hell could you have a leak like this and not know about it? Because this leak must have been going on for years, and maybe they knew about it and just kept quiet, and they've kind of left it for the next person who moves in to deal with it, and that next person, sadly, is me and Evie. Anyway, enough complaining. Let's just crack on and keep having fun renovating. So of course there were absolutely moments like I just had with you guys where I was feeling a little bit down in the dumps, and it made me question a lot of stuff to do with the house buying process. But one thing that I was really looking forward to was trying to give all of this a go myself. So please, if you are enjoying these flat renovation videos, please do me a huge favor and make sure to give the video a like, as it really helps out the channel. Flipping heck. This is very, very dirty work. The water damage here doesn't look too bad, but that is where we were getting it on the other side of the wall. So I'm going to pull out this insulation now, because then again, I'm going to have a much better idea of exactly what's going on. I am 99.9% sure and confident in saying that the leak, sadly, was just coming from the bathtub seal, which means we cannot claim any of the repair costs or any of the damage costs of any of this on insurance. This is all at mine and Evie's own cost. So I started to pull out the insulation and then realised just how much dust this was all creating. You know, Now I can see all of the water damage and the damp that was coming from the bathtub into our bedroom wall, because that is our bedroom wall, and on the other side we had a big stain. Now with the insulation out the way, now with everything kind of exposed, once I've cleaned this entire room up and just given it a nice little tidy up, I'm just going to leave a couple of dehumidifiers in here for however long it is needed to soak up as much moisture as possible. So now with everything completely stripped out and most of the damage removed, you can just see how much mold and rot that this water leak has caused over years and years and years. I started to give everything a good clean and even remove some of the insulation that was damp, because I'll also be able to see if there's any damage on the on my neighbour's ceiling, because it would be kind to let them know that, which I have already messaged them to let them know. Hey, we found a leak in the bathroom. Have you ever had any leaks in the past? But they haven't got back to me, and that was about 2 or 3 days ago. I think that property is actually rented out. So the last few final steps to completely strip this bathroom back to the bare bones was to give everything a good clean. Oh, the poo pipe. The poo pipe. And then start to remove any of this damaged, rotten stud work. Well, that's just how rotted that bottom piece of wood was. And it's not even the worst bit. Got to take that out now. The last bit of damage to remove was just to try and cut back the floor as far back as I could possibly go, just to make sure that any damp parts were completely out. Next, to clean up all of this mold on the plasterboard, I just grabbed myself a sponge and some hot water and gave everything a good wipe down. And then I grabbed myself some mold killer and remover from Zinza and just sprayed the hell out of this plasterboard. Again, just to try and prevent any of the mold coming back and to kill as much as possible. After that, it was time for the dehumidifiers to come in and start airing and drying this entire room out. As you can tell, the bathroom has gone from one extreme to another and gone far further than my expectations were. I literally thought I could take everything out and put everything back in with a new shower and a new toilet. However, it's gone from one level to another, which I'm thoroughly enjoying. In the next video, we are going to crack on and start to rebuild this bathroom. So as always, guys, thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video. Last night, I actually grabbed 2 dehumidifiers from my dad, and I've put them in the bathroom to try and dry it out. Just came in this morning to check on this one, and it says full. And that is a whole tank of water. This has only been in there probably about 12 hours, I would say. Let's see how full this one is. Oh my God, that is completely full as well, to the brim. Somebody will be able to let me know in the comments, is that a common thing to put a dehumidifier in a room and have 2 completely full tanks of water in literally 12 hours?